morning, wapenzi watazamaji, mko poa. Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you guys. I know you can sing, okay, siwezi waona lakini mnanione. I hope that you're having a fantastic, of course, weekend. This lovely Saturday is going to be a fantastic show. Of course, right here on Say What? So tonight, of course, we have the top stories, of course, coming to you live and direct from all across the globe. But apart from that, unajua sasa Saturday kuna maneno yake. So tonight we are changing things a bit. So Pastor Sue is not there, but sitting for Pastor Sue. Hebu mama, tuonyeshe hiyo luku.
Sawa.
Umepiga luku. Come here, say hi to everybody. Salimiana.
Hello everyone. Yes, San Mitchell in the building, looking forward.
Unapiganga kelele online wewe?
Apana, by the way. Kukuliko?
She has an opinion about everything and every topic. And I'm so happy to have you tonight.
Thank you.
To discuss social media goals. Unachokanga hapo sijui umenunua gari.
Mimi sijanunua gari.
Bado?
Lakini nawapeanga pressure with the little that I have.
So we'll be discussing this, of course, with Anne and Shatta Boy. He's also going to be joining us tonight here on the show. It's going to be a fantastic show. Let's begin with the highlights. Thank you. Thousands of people gather at St. Peter's Square where the funeral of Pope Francis was held earlier today, with world leaders converging to pay their last respects to the late Pope.
The symbol of the gospel, the book of the gospel, has just been placed on the coffin.
Pope Francis' funeral was different compared to those of previous popes, but the traditions remained the same. We bring you more details. Lawyer representing Nairobi City County Ward representative has blamed a hospital in Kiambu County where the Kariobangi North MCA sought treatment, claiming there was negligence at work.
He sought help from a medical facility. Ideally, it is our expectation, and we really had hoped that if that medical facility had done its homework, maybe Mheshimiwa would have been here and we will not even be sitting here.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We start the show right now, and our sign language interpreter tonight is Walter Juma. All right, now, the body of Pope Francis was laid to rest today at the historic St. Mary Major Basilica. Now, thousands of faithful from all across the world packed St. Peter's Square, where a final mass was held before the beloved pontiff was taken to his final resting place. Now, it was a day filled with deep emotion, reflection, and prayers for the leader who touched millions of lives.
Thousands of mourners filled St. Peter's Square on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. East African time, as the world gathered to bid farewell to Pope Francis. The solemn day began with a final mass held in the early hours, with an emotional tribute before the first Latin American pontiff was laid to rest. The body of Pope Francis was later transported through downtown Rome under heavy security in a motorcade bound for his final resting place, St. Peter Major Basilica, a site the Pope personally chose for its deep spiritual meaning. Inside this sacred church lies the icon of the Virgin Mary, a symbol the Pope held dear. It is said that before and after every international trip, he would come here to pray. Pope Francis served the church for 12 years, capturing hearts around the world with his humility, compassion, and tireless dedication to the poor. Many will remember him as a gentle, hard-working shepherd of the faith. With his passing, the Catholic Church now prepares for the election of a new pope, an ancient and sacred process. Cardinals will take solemn oaths, count votes sealed by needle and thread, and burn ballots to send a signal to the world. Black smoke will mean no pope has been elected, while white smoke will signal that a new spiritual leader for over 1.4 billion Catholics in the world will have been chosen. Following the burial, the church enters a period of official mourning, 9 days of prayers, known as Novem Dies, in memory of the departed pontiff. Paul Kirobi, TV47.
All right, now Pope Francis' funeral was much simpler compared to those of previous popes, honoring his final wishes. He was laid to rest in a plain wooden casket rather than the traditional 3 coffins used for popes before him, even with his humble request. Now, the event drew hundreds of thousands of people to St. Peter's Square in Vatican City as a leader of more than 1 billion Catholics worldwide. Now, the world came together to bid him farewell. Our reporter Elizabeth Thatieno now brings us a vivid glimpse into the celebration that celebrated a life of service.
At 9:30 a.m. Kenyan time, archbishops and bishops began gathering in the Constantine Wing, a corridor adjacent to St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. At the same time, Catholic priests congregated in St. Peter's Square. Then, a funeral procession accompanying the Pope's coffin, which had spent the last 4 days at the center of St. Peter's Basilica, began.
We now begin the procession to the Basilica.
At 11 a.m. Kenyan time, the coffin was laid in the square in front of St. Peter's Basilica, marking the official start of the funeral ceremony. Pope Francis' funeral, though simpler than those of previous popes, was still a spectacle rich in tradition. The burial attracted over 250,000 members of the public and more than 150 heads of state. Guests and dignitaries sat close to the basilica and the coffin, while thousands of clergy and members of the public filled St. Peter's Square. The liturgical attire for bishops and archbishops included the alb, a white tunic held by a traditional cord called a cencher, the amice, which is a short linen cloth covering the neck, a red chasuble, and a solemn cape worn in honor of the Pope. After the service, Pope Francis' body, dressed in a red chasuble and a gold papal mitre, was transported from St. Peter's to the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore in Rome for burial. The route crossed the river Tiber and passed by the Colosseum. He will be the first pope since Leo VIII, who died in 1903, to be buried outside the Vatican. This is because he is a Jesuit and a devotee of the Virgin Mary. Pope Francis had requested to be laid to rest in Santa Maria Maggiore, which lies outside the Vatican walls in the heart of Rome. Traditionally, a pope's remains are enclosed the day before the funeral in 3 nested coffins, one made of cypress, symbolizing humility and mortality, a lead coffin welded to preserve and protect, and an outer oak coffin representing dignity and strength. Last year, however, Pope Francis requested a simpler burial, a single wooden coffin with a zinc interior. The service concluded with prayers for Pope Francis and a final commendation and a concluding prayer, formally entrusting the Pope to God. This marks the beginning of a 9-day mourning period during which a memorial service is held each day in his honor. Elizabeth Thatieno, TV47.
Tonight, President William Ruto was among world leaders who gathered at St. Peter's Square in the Vatican to bid farewell to Pope Francis. While also attending the burial were National Speaker Moses Wetangula and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. US President Donald Trump, whose tariffs have plunged the world into a global trade war in the middle of the Russia-Ukraine war, was also among the dozen leaders who bid farewell to the late pontiff. Apollo Kamau has details.
Pope Francis' final send-off at St. Peter's Square in Rome was a testament to his global influence after the world's most powerful leaders, led by US President Donald Trump, bid farewell to the 88-year-old pontiff, hailed as a champion of the poor. Among the heads of state, who numbered about 50, according to the Vatican, was President William Ruto, who was received in Rome by Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula, and attending two were heads of state from Africa, where the Catholic Church has millions of followers.
That is a show of respect as also Kenyan leadership by going to bury the late Bob with other leaders of the world. I think this is significant that we are with the world in mourning this loss.
Also attending the funeral, watched by millions across the world, were British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron. The royals too were in attendance, 10 of them from reigning monarchs led by Prince William, representing the United Kingdom royal family among a dozen of high-profile leaders. President Donald Trump and Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky, however, stole the show, despite sitting 10 seats apart, having met on the sidelines of the funeral over the Russia-Ukraine war in a meeting the two leaders described as productive, symbolic, and close to a deal. The gathering of world leaders came at a fragile time of international diplomacy caused by Trump's tariffs that have caused trade wars globally. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Well, may he rest well. Now, moving on, the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, is urging private hospitals to stop hiring foreign doctors. Now, this follows a recent scandal involving Mediheal Hospital, which has been linked to illegal organ trafficking. Now, the union says the situation has sparked public outrage and raised serious ethical concerns about the standards in the healthcare industry. Fatim Suleiman has the details.
The Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union, KMPDU, has added a new twist to the ongoing saga involving Mediheal Hospital and its alleged role in organ trafficking. The union is now urging authorities to ensure that all foreign doctors practicing in the country undergo thorough vetting to guarantee they meet both legal and ethical standards.
The whip that was started by the CS need to be supported so that we can get to know and to ascertain that the doctors who are foreign and employed in the country are in the right terms.
In addition, they are calling on the Ministry of Health to release up-to-date statistics on the number of foreign doctors currently working in Kenya.
And the doctors who are doing these procedures have been confirmed to be, most of them are foreign doctors. And that's why we need a proper data showing every doctor that has been in the country and a new vetting process to be done.
The union has also raised its long-standing concerns with the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council, criticizing the failure to employ many qualified local doctors. Doctors who are already licensed and could help address the country's critical shortage of healthcare professionals.
There's no way you will have doctors locally and then import the same ones using the taxpayers' money, whether it's a private facility or a public facility. So the action of the CS, we are backing it up because then it will bring sanity into the profession.
Meanwhile, Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has vowed to take firm action against anyone implicated in the organ traffic. This as he pledged to act on the findings of the task force formed by Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale once investigations by competent agencies are concluded.
The Ministry has given you 3 months and submit a detailed report with a concrete recommendation.
Now, the chairperson of the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, Dr. Charles Githua, has announced a major nationwide crackdown targeting pharmacies selling counterfeit and substandard medicines. Now, speaking during celebrations marking the 50th anniversary of the University of Nairobi School of Pharmacy, Dr. Githua said the operation will kick off next month in Kiambu County before being expanded to the rest of the country. Now, the initiative aims to boost drug safety standards across Kenya. Now, meanwhile, alumni pledged to work closely with the government to raise the quality of pharmaceutical training and education.
We have pharmacists and we have pharmtechs, pharmacists and pharmtechs who are in community pharmacy, about 9,000 towards 10,000. For the entire country, you have outlets of pharmacies in the tune of almost 20,000. More, almost double, run in unregulated manner. With my board, we have sat down, the mechanism we have put in place. We'll be rolling out the first phase in Kyallo County, the first phase of eradicating quacks in a multi-sectoral, multi-agency approach.
Let's say there are those who did pharmacy, and there are those of us who did pharmacy at the University of Nairobi. The two are distinct. Wao wengine wasiambia nilisema hivyo.
Our political leaders. Hakuna need ya kuingia kwa demu mnaenda USA, mnaenda Britain, mnaenda Israel, mnaenda Germany kutibua. You are spending hundreds and hundreds of millions. Alafu you are telling child and you have to pay. Collect 2 million, 3 million and bring it here. Assist the hospitals so that to develop capacity.
Let us leverage on our alma mater and tell them, even if they are giving blocks, even if they are giving tiles, let them be involved, yeah?
Now, hundreds of Wajir residents turned out in Wajir town to warmly welcome back Dala Ward MCA Honorable Yusuf Hussein in a colorful celebration filled with excitement and unity. Now, Hussein had reunited with his family in Nairobi yesterday after months of disappearance since September last year. At the homecoming event, local leaders thanked President William Ruto for forming an inclusive government. In Aldas MP Aiden Kainan, who is also a relative of Yusuf, urged the people of Wajir to stand firmly behind the president and support his development agenda, emphasizing that unity and collaboration are key to driving progress in the region.
Kwa wakati huu tuko na serikali ambayo inaitwa broad based government. Sisi tukiwa wakazi wa sehemu wa mkoa wa zamani ya Nairobi, tumeamua tuunge mkono serikali ya Mheshimiwa William Ruto kwa sababu hiyo serikali ni serikali ambayo inatutambua. Ile ubaguzi ya kipande imetolewa. Ile barabara ambayo ilikuwa karne kwa karne imetolewa, saizi na kuja inatembea. Mimi napigana kabisa kwa maisha tupate sitima kutoka Nairobi, ile sitima ya National Grid ifike Wajir hapa, ilekea Elwa, ilekea Mandera. Sasa ya William Ruto ni serikali ambayo inatutambua, inafanya kazi na sisi.
All right, now members of the Nairobi County Assembly have dismissed claims of foul play in the death of Kariobangi North MCA Joel Munuve. However, their remarks have further raised concerns about possible medical negligence at a hospital in Kiambu County, where Munuve had sought treatment before his death. Samira Mohammed tells us more.
Just a day after an autopsy was conducted on the body of Kariobangi North member of County Assembly, the results revealed that the MCA succumbed to 2 blood clots in his body, which led to an insufficient supply of oxygen to vital organs.
By the time he died, there was not much oxygen getting to the body. So we tried to investigate why is it that this person was not getting enough oxygen to the body. So we opened up the body. The main finding were in the lungs. There's a blood vessel called pulmonary artery. This is a blood vessel which blood pass from the heart to the lungs to get oxygen. We saw a very big blood clot there, which was even tightly adherent to the blood vessel.
Nairobi members of County Assembly, through their lawyer, have raised concerns of possible medical negligence at a hospital in Kiambu where Munuve had sought treatment. They claim the hospital failed to attend to Munuve in time, ultimately leading to his death.
He sought help from a medical facility. Ideally, it is our expectation, and we really had hoped that if that medical facility had done its homework, maybe Mheshimiwa would have been here and we will not even be sitting here.
Accompanied by County Assembly pathologist Dr. David Atande, the Nairobi County Assembly lawyer confirmed that a post-mortem conducted by both independent and government pathologists established that Munuve died from a massive pulmonary embolism, which is a large blood clot that blocked the main artery in the lungs.
All the pathologists that we were with, we had a consensus that the cause of death of Munuve was pulmonary thromboembolism, which is blockage of the pulmonary artery due to the blood clot in the left leg.
Through their lawyer, the members of County Assembly have ruled out any foul play in Munuve's death, stating they are satisfied with their autopsy finding.
All the pathologists, all of them, they were unanimous. The big English word here is unanimous. They were all unanimous that the cause of death is actually the blood clot that went to the pulmonary artery.
Samuru Mohammed for TV47, Nairobi.
All right, now Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki has appealed to residents of the Mount Kenya region to shun divisive politics and instead focus on national unity and development. While speaking at a Kindiki market in Ndia constituency during the launch of economic stimulus projects, where he was accompanied by the area MP George Kariuki, the Deputy President expressed his frustration over politically instigated violence involving the youth. Now, he emphasized that this is not the right time for political wrangles, urging leaders and citizens alike to prioritize development over politics.
Watu wanachukua kibiriti na petroli, unaenda unachoma duka ya mtu ambaye labda ameomba loan, ameajiri watoto wetu 5 pale, unachoma ati kwa sababu umekosana na mtu fulani mambo ya siasa. For the first time, and I've been around for a long time. Mzinione hivi, mimi sijaanza jana. Ni vile siongeangi sana. Unajua kuna watu wako na maringo mingi. Wanaongea kama dunia hii ni yao. Na hii dunia si ya mtu, dunia ni ya Mungu. Na wale viongozi wengine, like-minded leaders, kutoka area hii yetu ya Central. Sisi tuwe watu wa bidii, wananchi na viongozi tuwe watu wa bidii, na tusiingie katika siasa ya kuharibu mali ama siasa ya kufunga barabara. Hiyo siasa.
All right, now residents of Samuru County have been urged to foster and uphold a homegrown culture of peace rather than relying solely on external interventions to maintain calm and order. Well, this call was made during a peace forum held in Rumuruti, Laikipia County, which brought together various stakeholders, including officials from the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, national government administrators, the security personnel, elders from Samuru and Turkana communities, and members of the Parliamentary Committee on National Cohesion and Equal Opportunity were present.
We have come to share our experiences, put our acts together, and talk to both Turkana and Samuru communities who have been warring over some time. They have a tradition of cattle hustling, but we have dissuaded them to leave those outdated cultural practices.
Conflicts that are there, they should stop because they are all Kenyans and they are as brothers and sisters, and therefore we don't see why they should keep on fighting because of cattle rustling.
Wote watakuja na suluhisho ya amani yenye itakuwa lasting peace, watakuja na resolutions so that they can take back to their communities na waende waambie warani hatutaki the barbaric acts yenye inaendelea kwa community.
Chochosi ya aina yoyote, mtu yeyote ambao wanachochea, hata kama ni nani, hata kama ni bunge, hata kama ni nani, afadhali serikali ichukue hatua kali.
Hii mambo ya kuoana na kuibana ng'ombe mifugo kila wakati inaleta uhasama kati ya jamii zote mbili. Kwa hivyo tunatumaini baada ya hii at least amani itapatikana.
Tunaomba serikali warudishe wao special forces to deal with hard criminals.
Kama kuna watu wanaumia kwa kukosekana ya amani, mambo ya insecurity ni akina mama. Akina mama tunaumia sana kwa sababu kila wakati kunapokuwa na msukosuko ni sisi akina mama tunaumia zaidi.
Wajaribu kutusaidia kwa upande ya security na upande ya maendeleo ya Baragoi ili tuwe na amani. Kwa sababu watu wakiwa na maendeleo wanaweza kukaa na amani, lakini sasa wakiwa na njaa, hakuna barabara, hakuna maji, hakuna shule, hiyo mambo ya amani haitakuwa imeimarika.
All right, now Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has affirmed that the government will not relent in its fight against illicit brews and counterfeit alcohol, emphasizing the urgency of addressing the cross-cutting menace. Now, recognizing the widespread harm caused by illicit and adulterated alcohol, Murkomen announced that stricter regulations are in the pipeline, while he directed the National Government Administration officers and the National Police Service to launch a crackdown on illegal alcohol dens and bring the perpetrators to book.
Kuweka eneo hilo kama la kumbukumbu. Machakos hii mwaka 1963
Sports news brought to you by Maybet. Join Maybet leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1 au draw X au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako. Chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybet. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia,
Okay, so it's now time for some sporting action. And Kenya Premier League title contenders Police FC secured a hard-fought 2-1 win over KCB in one of the weekend's early fixtures. Now, Police FC found the back of the net in the 20th and 62nd minutes to seal the win. Well, elsewhere, Bandari edged Kariobangi Sharks 2-1. Posta Rangers narrowly beat Muranga Asil 3-2, and Shabana outclassed Nairobi City Stars with a 2-0 win. Meanwhile, AFC Leopards bounced back with an impressive 3-1 victory over Bidco United. Police FC now lead the league with 52 points ahead of Tusker and Gor Mahia.
King Joe. John Kiplangat. Kinilipata kadi huenda ikawa ni Kiplangat. Michael Owen!
Game pressure kwanza, unapata sisi ndo tulianza kufunga na tuka maintain hivyo mpaka second half, then wakakuja wakakomboa. Wakati walipokomboa kidogo pressure ilianza kuingia kwa timu yangu, hatukuwa tunafanya zile vitu tunafaa kufanya kama ku defend vizuri ama ku keep ball, then kupata bao ya pili. Sasa hiyo ndio ilikuwa turning point.
Tulikuwa tunaongoza na kidogo, sipendi mimi kuzungumzia mambo ya referee, lakini kuna swali ningelependa kuliuliza. So naamini kwamba tutarudi uwanjani mazoezi, tuende tufanye mazoezi, turekebishe kile tumeona ambacho hakikuwa sawa.
Na tuko pale chini, so hakuna kitu ya kudefend, ni kuongeza more attacking. So tumeleta Ansel pale wacheze na walo 2 strikers, tukavunja fullback, kaambia Makati akanyage juu, tukabaki na 3. At least tuone kama tutapata pressure.
The first 10-20 minutes watakuja wakiwa juu, so pia tulitaka waingie kwa mtego wetu na waliingia. So the only thing nilikuwa tukua cautious tusiweze concede, of which ukiangalia the first 15-20 minutes walikuwa juu sana. So naweza sema it was a game plan, and I think na applaud vijana wali get right.
This is so passionate. Okay, now moving on, Kenya's junior starlets sow their hopes of qualifying for the back-to-back FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cups dashed on Friday night in Yaoundé after a 3-1 defeat to Cameroon, resulting in a 4-1 aggregate loss in the final round of qualifiers. Now, Cameroon entered the match with a 1-0 lead from the first leg and extended it early in the 6th minute through Beatrice Avana. Now, the loss is especially painful for the Kenyan side, which had raised high hopes following strong performances in previous qualifiers and their maiden World Cup appearance.
Sports news brought to you by by Maybets. Join Maybets leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1 au draw X au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako. Chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybets. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia,
All right. So you know what? This is now mark, of course, the mark for the first end of the first part of the show. But of course, we're coming back with Say What? And tonight, tunaongea maneno ya pressure pale social media. Hey, relationship goals and so much, happening there. A lot of magari zananuliwa nini. So we'll be discussing that after we come back from this short commercial. Don't go away.